Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we will be talking about Starfield. One of the big topics that's been top of mind for me and probably for a lot of the community is just when are we getting more DLC? Uh, this has been something that's been pretty top of mind for a while now. We haven't had really any big DLC since Shattered Space. The year leading up to Shattered Space, I mean, we had just a phenomenal year where we literally got creations, the Rev 8, revisited maps, and then Shattered Space. It's just the big ones to name a few. Quality of life improvements too. The ability to change a bunch of settings, add food, survival tactics, things of that nature. So, lots of good stuff that year. And then ever since then, it's just been quiet with Starfield and Bethesda. And Todd Howard even said, besides it just works. Now, Todd Howard even said that they felt they made a mistake because a lot of the letdown with Shattered Space was because they had all these things they could have queued up and dropped with Shattered Space, and instead of doing that, they decided to release them iteratively throughout the year, and they feel that kind of took a little bit of the punch away from Shattered Space, or made people feel like they had less value. Um, I personally like the way they did it. I think that was the right idea. The Rev 8, I think, was much needed and really improved the game, allowing you to drive around instead of run around planets with all these widely located POIs. Um, I think that the maps, too, are just like a nice quality of life feature that would kind of suck if that was behind a paywall for people that originally bought the game. And, kind of the same thing just across the board on that. The Trackers Alliance came out that year, too, actually. But another pretty cool thing. I think that came out around the time as Creations because one of the quests was related to Creations. But yeah, so big thing of the day with the community right now is just speculation again, as usual. So um, it was posted somebody big something. It was posted something big is going on behind the scenes. There are more changes than ever before since launch. You see all these updates coming in, and people are getting excited. Um, from my perspective, I would love to get excited, but I'm also in this like mode of, am I happy with the game as is if nothing else happens? We're supposed to get one more DLC that was promised once upon a time. I think it was pretty highly proven, speculated at least, that it was going to be called Starborn. We're hoping it had to do with the Starborn attributes of the game, but we'll see. We'll see. Now it's hard to say at this point. So other people said, seems like they're working at the same rate they were in 2004, maybe faster, but nothing is coming out. Whatever the big next update is, it's going to be stacked, especially since they'll probably keep working on it for another 6 months, however the fuck long it will take. Uh, yeah, I'm good with that. I just, like I said, at this point, after Xbox Showcase, after Gamescom, anything coming out for Starfield, I'm gonna be pretty stoked. Another comment says, it's not going to get better. I like it for what it is, but I don't see any DLC or huge announcements beyond maybe a PlayStation and Switch 2 release. I think PlayStation and Switch 2 release are inevitable. I think it's silly that, I mean, if you look at the numbers for PlayStation compared to Xbox, it outsold it at like 3-1. So opening up that community would be huge. And then Nintendo's always had a pretty big following. If you look at their sales, typically their consoles are right up there as some of the best selling consoles of all time. It's basically all PlayStation and Nintendo for best selling consoles of all time, with Xbox making one hit with the Xbox 360. And other than that, Xbox has never kept up with those other two uh, competitors. The other one says, we hope. And I feel this, right? I mean, that is brutal, and I just want it so bad. I'd love another Starfield update so bad. I really expected it to be this fall. The fact we didn't even get an announcement this fall, now we're in the dark until probably sometime in 2026. It is brutal. At the end of the day, a little disappointed by that. I understand it though, and honestly, if Bethesda's focusing on Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5, no, that's good too. Somebody said probably compatibility stuff for the PlayStation 5 release. Yeah, no, that's what I said before. Once again, is I think that's pretty much all but confirmed at this point. That PlayStation 5 is probably getting a drop of this. I think it's a great thing. Um, I'm happy for it. I like that Microsoft's playing this game of we're just going to provide the game, and wherever you want to play it on, that's good with you. I've always preferred to play on Xbox myself. I don't really like the PlayStation network. I don't really like the PlayStation controller. I know my friends over there either. So they're both good hardware, but I've always been more of a like Nintendo and Xbox guy, and never really liked PlayStation. But if you're into PlayStation, which let's face it, a lot of people are, um, you should be able to play it on your console. It's kind of cool. So, and especially Bethesda. I mean, Skyrim and everything like that's always been on PlayStation. So kind of brutal that that wasn't on PlayStation initially. I'm sure that didn't help with the reviews, candidly either. I'm sure there was a lot of review bombing going on by PlayStation fanboys, and I'd be heartbroken too. You know, at the end of the day, Bethesda makes my favorite game. So if they stopped making it on Xbox and that's what I play and I couldn't get it, I'd be extremely disappointed. So I understand where they're coming from on that. But looking forward to getting that over to those systems. I hope that gives a boost in player count. It'd be a great time to also have some kind of payable DLC that you could buy when people are hot in the moment, and make the most of this that they can. Somebody else said, all of this and it's going to be an update to Creations UI. Yeah, maybe. You know, I think that's the thing. I think the creations, and I talked about this before, but and people like to hate on creations. I think creations are phenomenal. Uh, most of them are not paid mods. Most of them are plug and play, straight from the menu, mods that you, with no technical experience, can experience by clicking search, finding what you want, hitting download, and it just works. It just works. So, but in all seriousness, I think that's the best modding community, period, is Bethesda, and they've made modding so friendly that it's just awesome. You just tailor your game the way you want. I'm sure if you're looking at any like gameplay behind the scenes, you realize I haven't played vanilla in a long time. Got all the achievements, played about a couple hundred hours of vanilla, and now I'm 500-600 or more hours into playing modded. Um, I just love it. You know, for me, the thing was missing with Starfield was the aliens and, you know, bounty hunting aliens, Star Wars kind of stuff. So like, you know, I kind of brought all that back into the game, and I'm just having more fun for it. It's an RPG, so like being able to love your character and love the surroundings around it, big deal. And for me, just simple little things like, you know, having aliens walk the street at the same time, or being able to be one, having a laser gun, whatever it is, you know, lightsaber, whatever it is. And I think that stuff's super duper cool at the end of the day. But what I was going to say is with the creations, I think the idea in general is great if you have a huge community um, on playing the game that's made, and so many of these people are so many talented developers that are literally making just cool ass shit for the game, like beyond just the developer themselves building. And I think that's super cool. It's super cool. It gives you unlimited content. Like I've been through like 6, 7 playthroughs maybe of Starfield now, and every time I just go in, I look for mods. I think of a world I want to tailor. I think of what my character is going to be, and then I tailor a world around it through mods. I did that with Fallout 4, and I did it with Skyrim too, and just you can't beat that in my mind. So if you're not playing like creations, or you're like, oh, it's just paid mods, click the creations button. For real, you're going to see that 99% of stuff in there is not paid. It's just stuff that talented developers built to make your experience better, and it's made my experience so much better. So at the end of the day, I guess where I'm going with that is the creations piece isn't the evil they put it out to be. And in theory, if they can keep the player base up, then the creations menu and the way it works, and making that available as streamlined as possible makes a ton of sense. So yeah, it could be creations UI, but I'm really hoping we get the Switch and the PlayStation community in there, boost the numbers, maybe do a DLC around the same time to boost the numbers for us Xbox and PC players, um, and then yeah, hopefully creations is booming. We want a big community in there, because at the end of the day, the more bigger the community is, and the more chance for modding community to make money if they need to, the better stuff we get. And honestly, some of the coolest stuff I've played in Starfield, and I mean this, was not vanilla game Starfield. Watchtower has been phenomenal. Uh, Shattered Space was through Bethesda technically, but that one was pretty good. I know you get a lot of hate on it, but like it was a tailored planet that you can hang out and play for 20 to 30 hours, um, and the more creators that can build stuff like that, the better, right? Like I know it's to be unpopular opinion, but for me, if I could spend 5-10 bucks and get a new faction or a quest or gear or, you know, anything like that to just have a new experience when I get on, I would do it every time. You know, I've gotten so much my money's worth, in my opinion, out of out of the things I bought, and people will be like, oh my God, it costs $20 to play Shattered Space, or 30. I got 30, 40 hours of gameplay out of it. For me, if I can spend $1 an hour on a hobby, um, that's pretty good money spent. You know, this is probably unpopular again, but I mean, leave it in the comments. I don't fucking care what you have to say. I do care, but your opinion's not going to change mine. But the point being, I personally don't mind supporting mods, um, and I just look at it from like, it's one of the cheapest hobbies in the world, and the community can be really ridiculous. And we have a very entitled community at times when it comes to what they expect people to build for them and just give them for free. And I'm hoping that sparks a little conversation. Honestly, it's probably an unpopular opinion. I know it is, but we'd love to hear. I'd love to hear your opinion on it uh, if you feel differently, because I think it makes the coolest ecosystem ever for a game that could just expand indefinitely. And we were able to have a single player game too. We're able to have a single player game that has a constant revenue source for the developer to keep building towards that single player game. And that's the problem. Like, everything's live service nowadays. Everything's live service, reoccurring revenue coming in that way. That's what gets all the love. And what I don't want to see is the death of single player games. You know, so I'm not in love with microtransactions. I'm not in love with paying for every tiny thing, but at the same time, I think it's necessary to keep it alive. So, yeah, that's all I got today, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. If you agree or disagree, I'd love to hear from you. Hope we can just have a fun, friendly conversation. We all love the game, I hope, and if you don't, tell me that too. Um, that's about all I got, though. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, sub if you want. If not, don't worry about it. Have a nice day.